Hey everyone, Alex here with Defcon Paintball, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 accessories for Magfed paintball players. So maybe you're thinking about getting into Magfed paintball, or maybe someone you know is, but aside from the marker itself, you're thinking, well, what else do I need to kind of get into this style of play? So we made a short list of stuff that we think that honestly every single Magfed player should have. It's just going to enrich the experience, make it easier on them, and add a lot of fun to it. So starting off with something that I think every single Magfed player should have, with no exceptions, is a dump pouch or a drop pouch. This is just somewhere that you can put your empty mags on the fly. So all you do with this is you strap it to a vest or a belt or something. It kind of hangs off your butt, to be honest. And once you pulled out an empty mag, you throw it in the pouch, you grab your fresh one, and you're good to go. So very, very useful. If you don't have one of these, you're kind of fumbling with pouches and your reloads are gonna be much, much slower because of it. So things to consider, but honestly, I recommend it to absolutely everyone. There's really no reason not to have one of these. So moving on, a magazine coupler. This, all it does is attach one magazine to another magazine, and that's going to make your reload very, 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 very fast. So if you have 2 mags clamped together, you just pull one mag out, plop the next one in, and you're good to go. You've had a mag out of your marker for maybe all of 2 seconds. So super, super useful, super affordable. They're nice and lightweight and durable, but very, very useful thing. It just basically gives you 2 mags for the price of 1. Moving on, a sling. This is a glorified strap. All it is just going to be something that you attach to your marker so that you don't have to carry it around all the time. At a long scenario game, maybe some of them are running 6 to 8 hours, your arms are going to get tired if you're carrying around a big heavy Magfed marker the entire time. So all the sling is going to do is just mean that when you don't actively need to have it up, you could just hang it off your body and it's much, much nicer. So trust me, in those long scenario games, the slings are really worth their weight in gold. Next, and this is going to be, one of the more fun ones, is optics. And I just say optics as a blanket term. This is a red dot sight, but scopes also fit into that. But in general, anything that you're going to use that's going to give you a better idea of where your paintball is going before you pull the trigger. Now these are really, 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 really helpful for Magfed players specifically because you don't have a ton of paint to play around with. With most paintball players, if they want to range out their shot and figure out how to aim their marker, they just kind of send a couple paintballs down and then adjust accordingly. With a red dot, you don't really have to do that. You can actually line up the dot with your target, and then you're gonna have a much better idea of where your first shot is gonna go. It means that you might grab some enemy players with the first hit, and in general, it means that you're not using quite as much paint just trying to range in your target. So very, very handy. Of course, obviously, there's the cool factor, like a marker is gonna look pretty cool with one of these strapped on. Which brings us to our next item on this list, which is kind of in line with this, and that would be a rail riser. Now, the reason you're probably going to need one of these is because once you attach this to your marker, you're going to go to sight it up and realize that because of your mask, your face can't really effectively get behind the dot that easily. It's going to be kind of awkward, kind of weird. You're going to have to cant the gun and kind of do this, and it just gets kind of weird on you. If you use a rail riser, you're not going to have that problem anymore. All you do is attach the optic to the riser and then attach the riser to the marker. It's going to raise the optic up about an inch or so off of the marker. It's going to be way, way, way easier to actually get behind the sight and actually sight in your target. So super, super handy. Definitely recommend it. This riser specifically actually has rails on the sides as well. So it means that things like flashlights or lasers or whatever, you can also attach to the side of the marker. So if you're kind of going on a spree of attaching things, then you can do that with this. That's technically 5 items, but since we considered this kind of goes hand in hand with this, we throw in a 6th item that makes a lot of sense to a lot of players, and that is a sidearm. If you are a Magfed player, then you chances are have gotten into a situation where you're in a firefight with somebody and you have run your magazine dry. And rather than reload, often it is much, much quicker to draw a sidearm. Of course, there's also the cool factor of having a sidearm strapped on. So consider that instead of your reload, pull a sidearm, deal with it then, and then once you have a couple of seconds, then you can reload your primary marker. So we thought we'd throw this on the list because many Magfed players really like having sidearms on them. It's just another option in terms of if something happens to their primary marker, they could stay in the fight. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope it was informative. Got any comments or questions or suggestions for other top 5 items or anything else you think we might have missed on this list? Leave them in the comments below. And as always, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.